hat der berühmte NBA-Trainer Chris Brickley sein Schweigen über Caitlin Clark
Okay, so the Indiana Fever just made a move that has everyone scratching their heads. Chris Brickley, one of the top trainers in basketball, has worked with legends like LeBron James and Kevin Durant. He wants to help Caitlin Clark get healthy for the 2025 season, which sounds incredible, right? But here's the catch. The Fever's front office is reportedly putting up roadblocks. It really makes you wonder, do they actually want Caitlin to reach her full potential, or is something else going on behind the scenes? Before we dive deeper, what do you think? Are the Fever true?
Struktur dieses speziellen Teams. Also, ja, manche Teams sagen nein. Die verlangen, dass
du die ersten 3 Jahre ein Jahr bei mir bist. Das passiert mit mir und Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark hat also ihre Rookie-Saison beendet. Wir reden schon seit ein paar Jahren miteinander und
du arbeitest mit Caitlin Clark zusammen. Wir wollten also letzten Sommer zusammenarbeiten, aber ich musste nach Indianapolis. Und ich habe sie respektiert. Wenn man jung ist und in seinem Team ist, dann.
Chris Brickley has finally spoken up about wanting to work with Caitlin Clark on her recovery ahead of the 2026 season. And honestly, this should have been a total no-brainer. But somehow, the Fever have managed to make it complicated. Brickley isn't some random guy chasing attention. He's trained NBA champions and elite superstars, basically anyone serious about taking their game to the next level. When someone with that kind of resume wants to work with your franchise player, the answer should be simple. You say yes. You don't create obstacles. And get this, he's worked with LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and a long list of other champions. He's not out here doing workouts for Instagram clout. He's the real deal. His results speak for themselves. Players work with him because he actually gets them better, not for social media hype. So when he publicly says he's been trying to work with Caitlin for years, that's a...
Ja, ich hoffe jetzt auf diese Saison. Diese Saison...
What's wild is that Brickley actually went on a podcast and revealed that he and Caitlin have been in touch for years. They were even supposed to train together last summer, but the catch was, he'd have to go to Indianapolis. Now he totally understands that young players usually train at their team facilities, and that makes perfect sense. But here's what doesn't. Why is the Fever making it so incredibly hard for their star player to work with one of the best trainers in basketball? Brickley even mentioned that he's hoping Caitlin will come to New York this offseason so they can finally get some real work in. He called her an amazing talent, someone who's completely changed the game and women's sports. That's huge praise coming from a guy who's worked with the very best. Apparently, though, the Fever's front office has completely different plans for Caitlin's offseason. And let's not forget what she went through during the 2025 season. Constant injuries, questionable medical decisions, and growing doubts about how her health was being managed. They said she needed to handle physicality better, so their big solution was to bulk her up. Yeah, that didn't go so well. In fact, many believe that the added muscle
nach New York kommt und wir etwas Arbeit bekommen. Und sie ist der Grund, warum die WNBA so groß geworden ist. Ich liebe es, mit ihr zu arbeiten.
Ja.
Ein unglaubliches Talent. Sie hat das Spiel verändert.
Sie hat den Frauensport definitiv verändert.
Auch den Wettbewerb. Oh Mann, ich weiß, sie ist, ich meine, das ist auch der andere Aspekt, dass es okay ist, wenn Frauen wettbewerbsorientiert sind, weißt du.
This is exactly why bringing in someone like Chris Brickley makes perfect sense for Caitlin. He could help her develop a system to handle physicality without breaking down her body. He could teach her how to escape double teams, improve her shooting off the dribble, and adapt to all kinds of defensive schemes. These are the exact areas Caitlin needs to refine if she wants to keep dominating at the professional level. But here's what's really frustrating. About all of this, the Fever seem more focused on controlling where and how Caitlin trains than on actually helping her improve. They want her confined to their practice facility in Indianapolis, working exclusively with their staff. And sure, there's value in team chemistry and using team resources. But when you have a generational talent like Caitlin on your roster, you do whatever it takes to help her reach her absolute peak.
Trainer Chris Brickley. Brickley hat einige der berühmtesten Namen des Spiels trainiert oder zumindest mit ihnen gearbeitet. LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Die Liste ließe sich beliebig fortsetzen. Er ist sozusagen ein Startrainer, aber so einen Status erreicht man nicht, wenn man weiß, dass man nicht glaubwürdig ist. Das höre ich gerne. Das höre ich gerne. Ich bin voll dabei. Ich bin voll und ganz bei diesem Schritt. Ich habe gesagt, dass ich Caitlin Clark gerne bei einem neuen, hochkarätigen Elite-Trainer sehen möchte. Ich möchte, dass sie sich von Training in Indiana fernhält. Ich möchte nicht, dass sie mit Stephanie White trainiert. Ich möchte nicht, dass sie mit dem Trainerteam von Indiana Fever arbeitet, obwohl sie einen neuen leitenden Berater bekommen und so weiter. Ich will nichts davon. Ich denke, es gibt ein paar Dinge, die wenn sie diese paar Dinge in ihren Rucksack packt, ist sie definitiv unaufhaltsam. Chris Brickley, legendärer NBA-Trainer, der mit Leuten wie Carmelo Anthony arbeitet. Als ihr gesehen habt, wie Carmelo Anthony all das Gewicht verloren und in Form gekommen ist, Hoodie Melo, sie hat mit Carmelo Anthony, Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young.
He'd love to train her in New York. That seems completely reasonable, right? Yet somehow the Fever still isn't making it easy. You have to wonder what they're so afraid of. Are they worried it'll make their own staff look bad? Are they scared of losing control over their franchise player? Or is there something else happening behind the scenes that we just don't know about? Whatever the reason, it's not a good look when your organization blocks your star player from working with one of the best trainers in the world. And this isn't just about getting stronger. Caitlin needs advanced techniques to handle physical defenses without constantly getting beat up. She needs to learn how to create space when defenders crowd her, and how to finish through contact without always relying on the whistle. These are elite-level skills that require elite-level coaching. Brickley has trained the best. He knows what works and what doesn't. He knows how to take a player's existing skill set and sharpen it until they're unstoppable. That's exactly what Caitlin needs to reach her next level. The timing of this whole situation also feels suspicious. Right when Caitlin could benefit the most from specialized off-season training, the Fever starts putting up roadblocks. It almost feels like they're more interested in protecting their own egos than actually helping their player improve. That's a dangerous mindset for any organization. Let's not forget, Caitlin Clark is the reason the WNBA has exploded. Brickley himself said it. She's changed the game, brought millions of new fans, and become the face of the league. When you have a player like that, you don't limit them. You do everything possible to support them. The Fever should be rolling out the red carpet for trainers of Brickley's caliber. Instead, they're making things difficult, insisting everything has to be done their way. That's just backward thinking. Now, some might argue that the Fever want her training with their own staff because they know her body better. Fair point. But let's be real. Their medical and training program already led to a season full of injuries and constant questions about her health. So maybe it's time to try something different, right? Maybe an outside perspective could actually help. Caitlin also deserves some independence. She's a professional athlete, not a rookie who needs micromanagement. She should have the freedom to choose the trainers who can help her most. The Fever acting like overprotective parents isn't helping anyone. What makes this even more ridiculous is that NBA players work with private trainers all the time. No one bats an eye. But when Caitlin wants to do it, suddenly it's a problem? That's just weird and controlling. And the fact that Brickley is still interested after all this drama says a lot about his respect for Caitlin. He's one of the most selective trainers in the world. His time is valuable. The fact that he still wants to work with her shows how special he thinks she is. From Caitlin's perspective, this has to be frustrating. One of the best trainers in basketball publicly says he wants to help her, and her own team makes it difficult. She's too professional to complain publicly. But she knows what kind of opportunity she's missing because the Fever can't get out of their own way. At this point, it's clear that the Fever's current approach isn't working. Too many injuries, too many questions about the training staff. So why resist change? Whether it's pride or stubbornness, it's not helping Caitlin or the franchise. The truth is simple. A healthier, stronger, more skilled Caitlin Clark means more wins, more fans, and more money. The Fever needs to stop getting in their own way and let Caitlin work with whoever she believes can help her. If that's Chris Brickley, perfect. If it's someone else, fine. But the bottom line is, let your star player grow.